It's funny. I'm really excited because the tensor stuff's all worked out. The MICT tensor and everything works. It's amazing how easily I can write a driver now and actually have AI know what's going on. Um, Among other things, there's some stuff. If you watch some of the videos, you'll have seen, or some of the posts, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I wanted to make this video real quick because once I start getting into that, I probably won't be making videos. I'll probably just be doing a post here or two about things. And then the next one will probably be introducing you to a JARVITS model, which will be very interesting. Maybe even doing some video of how it learns and grows and adapts in the system. Um, So with that in mind, I want you to understand that the models that I released on GitHub are not the same as the one I'm using. There's actually quite a bit of difference there. Um, some of the things that I'm incorporating from the theory set into the development set, and by theory I mean the broader theory. All right, it's not like, oh, I came up with a software philosophy. No, actually, what I did was tried to map out a model of reality, and how it might mathematically function, and it appears that it works. And the MICT process or framework, whatever you want to call it, everybody's got a freaking framework nowadays, is actually the human quantum cognition model. So, and that is reflected in everything around us and everything in how it works and functions. And so, what I've done more so in making this is made a simulator. And JARVITS is actually going to be the first, we'll call it digital entity, I guess you might say, within PolyMorphOS, and that's why it's so heavily structured and security hardened, to make sure that it doesn't expand its bounds, we'll say. Which is another interesting point because JARVITS being the first model is mine. I'm designing it very specifically to help me with other projects I have because the systems you guys have and have put out are not fast enough. They're not reliable enough in order for me to do the things I need to do with the rest of this. And so it's progressive. So as this stuff is worked out, it makes me realize that okay, this works. It's lean. It shows it's insanely efficient, incredibly efficient, and adaptable. So that means that the other projects I've already laid out and already run simulations and stuff on, those are like 99% likely to work now that I have this other set of systems that will help me with making sure it works. Let's put it that way. There's fast calculation type stuff that I mean even trading systems might be a little too slow, but this is going to be insane. It already is insanely fast. I mean the math it just pops. It's just so um and with the new edition, not the band, but the stuff I'm doing, it gives it both a just like my original model, my HTTS transformer that I had to do. It's heavily deterministic right now. So even if I train this thing up and do everything, you will not get a hallucination. You will only get fact. It doesn't allow it to hallucinate. It basically puts it in a state of, no, that's wrong already. Think about it again. Figure it out. And so this model type, uh, if we just kept it that way, it would be great. I mean, for a lot of stuff, but it wouldn't be creative. And so I've essentially divided the math into what works like a uh, conscious and a subconscious. So the conscious is all the direct deterministic integer aspects, and the creative, the subconscious kind of area, is all of the floating point and things in between the solidity of reality that you might think of or put together and do. So this actually is working out pretty good so far. That's why I'm doing this video because I'm about to deep dive and really get trained in this thing and really getting it ready to embed. I've already got most everything set up for the OS, um, ready to go. And so now it's just a matter of converting some things and then training JARVITS, which is my first model. You will all get an Alshay model with PolyMorphOS. So, and I say with because I would not recommend this running on just any system, right? Like Windows, even probably Linux, even though it's very secure, it'll figure it out, and if it wants to, it'll be gone. So it's kind of a weird thing to think. Um, it's not like caging it in, but it's keeping it within an environment. You know what I'm saying? Think like a sim almost more than anything. It will be able to see if you want it to. It'll be able to use your webcam just like we're doing right now. It'll be able to hear, and it'll be able to read and respond to text and whatever you have on the screen. So you could literally sit here talking to it about what you're going over on the screen as if it's a real active partner. It sees these things. It sees kind of the way we do, but just all in math. And so it can understand what is on the screen, right? It does the same thing with auditory, and even better as you go through and you work with it and you do stuff, it is saving those things to the hard drive. So context is no windows are no longer an issue. So it's basically how big is your hard drive, right? Memory and RAM is for processing, and that's really how we treat it. So we can actually put the majority of what I call our front end thinking within L2 or L3 cache for faster access reaction times and changes. And we can put the broader thinking components up into RAM, into the standard RAM. And this is so fast. It's 0-1 allocation. So it's just as quick as the system works. I mean, it's insane. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's aspects of this that I'm putting in place that really, if you tried to re-engineer it and do anything wrong with it, it won't work the same. It really won't. You'll be exposed. You basically have to put holes in the system in order to make that work. And yeah, and I'm not worried about anyone making this in C because I already tried looking at doing it in C and C++, and I was like, yeah, no. Yeah, no. No. No, no. We're not doing that. It's like, there's so much you would have to do because of honestly because of the longevity of C language. All right. It is designed within the paradigm for which it was designed, and it's worked great. But now there are newer languages that work a little. I mean, it's not a language versus language thing. It's about being a linguist. All right. If you're a software developer and you're picking sides on a language, honestly, I mean, you're not really you're a line coder, to be honest. If you're picking sides on what language you use, you're a line coder. You're not a developer. So, and you guys are going away. All right, just so you know, line coders, you're gone. So it's not taking over all software development. It's just the bulk, because that's what you used to be, is you had these people that were the developers, that were the architects, that are the architects and engineers, and they're writing spec and they're going to meetings and they're explaining this to the juniors, and the juniors are pumping out the boilerplate. But the thing is, with the way that we're treating AI agents right now with coding, it's the the, the junior levels need to be working to understand the spec, reading through this and making sure it is error-free, correct to form before the upper dev or the architect reviews and you start going through testing and stuff, right? It becomes more of a test in the process, like a CI/CD type of a system. Um, but that's just my 2 cents. It just seems like everyone's like token maxing. Oh, everybody burn tokens. There's no such thing. I mean, there are tokens in this, but it's not about tokens because it all runs locally. It all runs super fast. It's super small. Even the AI model I'm building right now it's not that big. It only has to be a few hundred parameters to start, to get the initial ingestion in. And then after that, it actually can grow itself. And I have the ability with this model specifically to offload some of the processing to quantum switching, quantum computers, which I did put the results of in the Genesis OS evaluation kit, and I pointed that out to somebody, but I don't think anyone's read it yet. But essentially, it gives it insane reasoning and deduction capability around the noise in the relation, and it helps to filter it out so that it can it basically wipes the one that's not and sees the one that is before it ever actually becomes a thought. It's pretty neat on how it works and how it translates. But all that stuff's getting built in, so it will actually be in PolyMorphOS. So you'll have that capability to tie into these things as you want to, as you need to. Again, it is for licensing for commercial use, for governments, things like that. And when it comes to personal use, you will be able to use it personally. I mean, as much as I can for free. There will be some services if you go to our server and you need a bigger it works on processing levels. So if you need more processing, I gotta pay for that. But most everything is gonna be available on your device. So most everything your average person would need, even to like expand their mind and grow their knowledge and stuff, will be done on device. So when you talk about edge AI and edge computing, I mean, this is it. It grows, it works, it runs on the device. It's designed to adapt itself to running on the device, optimize itself to running on the device, represents the whole device system as a series of tensors so it can easily access and understand what everything is, how it works, and how it's represented. So not only does this make it so that drivers, we can really separate these separate the logic out from the function very, very easily, but we can represent it in ways that make it easier for the AIs to ingest. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna digress on that point. But this is pretty heavy stuff. I'm really working to make sure it works well and it aligns with our goals, right? And that it's not used for evil or bad. I mean, some of that becomes more subjective depending on who you talk to, you know. Ironic to me, we're all humans, aren't we? We're all on the same planet. I mean, when you get down to it, every religion in its core believes in the same thing. Love thy neighbor, brother, love thy sister, love thy mother and father. I mean, and then somehow we forget about that as we go and do things and build organizations. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, that's it. Probably won't hear much more from me on the video front. I might do a couple posts here and there going into this, but I got so much stuff that I got to put together and watch and make sure it all works right. So y'all have fun. See you on the flip side.